we don't do data and AI for the sake of it. We do it to improve our business and our customer experience. And so you really need to start from customer problems or the things that you want to achieve in your business.
Welcome to the podcast behind MarTech That Matters. The event that we're having today, we'll try to dig a bit deeper into some of the conversation that we've been having with the speakers, the topics they've elaborated on. My name is Hans, Strategy Director Partner at IO, and your host for this session. Today I'm having Kim. Kim, welcome.
Hey Hans, thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, I loved your presentation. It was really practical, down to earth, but also showcasing what is the potential. Before we dive into that, maybe a short introduction to the audience. Who is Kim and what do you do exactly at Telenet?
Yeah, so I'm Kim. I'm leading data and AI at Telenet. I have a strong background in marketing, so on the business side. And so now my mission is really to connect the two, business and data and AI, to make sure that we get most value out of it.
Yeah, thank you. You've been working with data and AI for many years.
Yes.
What was the moment when you thought, well, maybe AI can actually start solving some of our issues?
I think that was in around 2020.
Okay.
When, until that point, we had been using data a lot, but mainly for reporting, looking back at the past, what had happened, measuring things like sales, churn, and
to learn from that.
Learn from it.
Yeah. Okay.
So looking back, and we had the vision, we can do so much more. We can really use it to look ahead, and use AI to actually improve customer experience. But that was a vision, that was a belief. So we had to create proof points. And so we installed a series of what we called boost projects, which were sort of a small MVPs, trial and error, on specific business problems, like, for example, identifying customers with Wi-Fi problems. So we would create an AI, do test and learn and see what came out of it. And it's from those proof points again and again that we saw, well, that's when it really clicked for me. Here's potential to improve customer experience and to transform our business.
Yeah, that's interesting because Geert was talking earlier about you need to start with a vision, have an idea, which is not always easy to have a vision and idea. But once you had that, then you brought it back. And of course, at Telenet, you have loads of data. So there's probably too much data. So that's why you said, well, maybe let's look at some use cases and start from there.
Yeah, definitely. So we don't do data and AI for the sake of it. We do it to improve our business and our customer experience. And so you really need to start from customer problems or the things that you want to achieve in your business.
And what were some of those toughest challenges you've had to work with?
So I think probably an unexpected tough challenge was in 2023 when we migrated our IT system from old legacy to a new platform, and we experienced more issues than we had expected. And so that was a bit of a tough situation, that's also when the data and AI team really stood up. They created something that we internally called the Friction Finder. The Friction Finder that could help pinpoint our IT people where they had to solve the IT problems so that we could get most of the customer pain points away as soon as possible. And so that helped us get out of the woods in that situation faster.
And I like the Friction Finder, which also refers to what Steven has been talking about, like take away frictions. Again, because you have so much data, that's why you have these segments that you've created and you started working from there. At the same time, there are a lot of misconceptions about AI and user experience. What would be the biggest one you've encountered?
Several misconceptions in AI and customer experience. Probably the biggest one is that it's all about automation and so on, and they mean cutting costs and replacing people. Well, I think that actually there's a huge opportunity in augmentation. So using it to improve the customer experience, using AI to help companies understand the customers better, to their behaviors and their needs, and then to design a customer experience that then meets the needs.
Yeah, I like how you phrase it: automation versus augmentation. I've been talking to Caroline earlier, and she also said, I asked her the question. A lot of companies, of course, have a lot of legacy. You also had a point where you just said, well, this is what we have, but this is not helping us moving forward. I mean, imagine that must have been a huge process to go through, because also it requires investments, audits, choices you have to make. Did that take a lot of time?
You mean the IT system?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a serious migration. It's it has been a multi-year program. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine. Do you think customers really care about AI that's behind the scene, or they just want the experience?
I don't think they care too much. I think that they're not going to say like, when it's going well, like, wow, what a great algorithm you have there. I think that what's important is the customer experience. So it needs to be something that is working well. It's frictionless, and it's easy, it's relevant, and it makes them feel understood.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, it doesn't matter whether AI is behind it or not. So I don't think we should try to make AI more visible. I think we should try to make it more meaningful.
Well, that's what I really liked about the case that you said, like, we're using it, we're not shouting about it. People are using more and more. Do you think that's because of word of mouth, or are people just curious to discover?
With the Gen AI based customer chatbot that we introduced without any communication so far, and it's actually not so easy to find in the app yet, but still we saw massive use already. I think there's a genuine appetite in a proposition like that, in a service like that, because it's quite effortless. It requires less personal time investment than calling our call center when you have a problem. And it's instant, it's 24/7. So I think that there's a real appetite. I think if we're going to communicate it, I think the uptake is going to go even harder.
But what I love about this example is you have so many clients, you have so many data. You start to launch this, and you said, we started with our frequently asked questions as the base. I think that is such a good example for many companies who are maybe struggling. Like, it feels like there's a huge gap. I don't know where to start. You just said, well, start with the basics. Right? And I can imagine you're growing tremendously from the knowledge perspective, because it was like what Tom was speaking about, like intent. What are people looking for? What is the answer they're looking for? Do you evaluate it month after month, week after week, to see what are we learning from these conversations?
Yeah, definitely. So indeed, as you said, we start with the basics. So it's also the easiest. And we wanted to make sure that we could master accuracy in helping answer customer questions on easier stuff before we would go in more advanced questions like troubleshooting or personalized questions. Now that we have it live, so we see all the questions, and some of the questions are in scope of what it can do. So about frequently asked questions. We also see what are questions that we cannot yet answer with the chatbot yet, because we haven't seen the insights. So this gives tremendous, very rich insights in what are the next use cases that we have to implement.
Yeah. So even if you don't, or even if you wouldn't have a vision, just starting with some small pieces, working, building the roadmap, using the insights to see, okay, this is the kind of intent or questions that we're having, and this is how we can start thinking ahead. That is probably a very practical way to move forward.
Exactly. It's a triangulation of two things. So top-down thinking of, where do we see most customers calling us? Where do we see most value? And then having that practical insights that you refer to, and then triangulate it to define the next steps.
Yeah. When we talk about data, if you have loads of data, there might be a risk in losing yourself in all the data. But then there's also the intuition, your gut feeling. Where do we want to go? The vision.
Yeah.
What do you do if they don't correlate at first sight?
If they don't correlate, well, I don't think that there should be like a winner.
No.
They should work together. So usually they are complementary. I would say. So where the data provides the facts of everything that is happening, and then gut feeling or intuition provides more a deeper meaning or an interpretation, putting things in context. So I think when they're off, when they seem to be in conflict, I think that's actually very interesting. I think that is a signal that you don't fully grasp the situation yet, that you should dig deeper. I think that, the best decisions are when you can combine the two, provide data to anchor the discussion, and then gut feeling or intuition to really put it in context.
Yeah, but I think that resonates with what the other speakers also have been mentioning, like having the two different chefs in the kitchen and really listening to each other and having all the C-level people talking to each other as one team, not as siloed. And that's how you kind of have the discussions and try to figure it out together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In this area, do you think that organizations like IO, who understand there is the technical element that has to be in place, but also understand the human interaction, the customer experience adds value for big companies like you? Because I can imagine smaller companies might have a bigger need for external partners, but you seem to be quite a big organization. How does that fit?
Yeah. So I think that a lot of magic in customer experience is at the crossroads between technology and then the human side, as you call it. And so I think companies that understand both are very useful, very helpful to help companies like ourselves to connect the dots and, to bridge together.
Which I like also is that in your story, you brought it back to the smile. Which it's like, yes, of course, we are thinking about customer experience, but what can make our customers bring that little smile, and then correlating and that bringing out that, I think that was a very good example of data, technology, and brand coming together. Maybe one final question. What's one thing data and I will not replace from your perspective? Big question.
It's a big question, yes. But I think I would go for real authentic empathy within crucial situations. And so, with data and AI, we can use it to understand the needs of customers very well, the behaviors, and then we can help. We can use it to create something that is really easy, relevant, and make them feel understood. And that works in many situations. But there are some crucial situations, some moments of truth when there's a problem, or when as a customer maybe you made a mistake, you maybe bought something that actually you don't need and now you don't want it anymore. So these are situations where you should be able to fall back to a human that genuinely listens and then understands the emotion behind it and gives a support with care.
Yeah, might be a combination of the human empathy, the technology as an enabler, and then bring it back to the 10-minute smile.
Exactly.
Let's go!